Pyro family. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience with us is fruitful. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. And we do hope you consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
And we're jiving. What's going on, everybody? Lottie-dottie. Hope you guys are doing super well on today. I'm having a great day. How about you, just Dominic?
Absolutely. It's Thursday again, and I could not be happier.
Yes.
There's
It
always
is
so much to talk about.
so much going on in these geek streets, if you will. But shout out to everybody, all of the Mavericks out there. Just Dominic and I are getting ready to give you a great show. We have a lot to talk about. So let's see who is in the building. What's going on, Keith Reynolds? Thank you guys so much for coming on through. We appreciate you, sir. And if you guys could do me a quick favor, hit that like button on your way in. It does help the algorithm, and share. Let everybody know that we are live, loud, and in color. Yes. All right, y'all. Let's just get right into it, because today's show, we're going to be talking about who is Gary Anthony Williams. But before we do that, you know what we have to do. That's right. We got to talk about what's breaking, what's going on up in the streets. It's time for the Maverick Alert. All right, y'all. It's time for the Maverick Alert. We have a lot to get into. So without further ado, let's get into what is going on. First up, Warner Brothers Paramount bombshell merger. So you guys know we reported a couple of weeks ago that Warner Brothers and Paramount are potentially going to be merging. They've been talking for quite some time about that, and we reported on that. But in quite the twist, Warner Brothers Discovery is no longer in talks with Paramount Global for a merger. It's been several months of discussion of the two giants merging into one powerhouse. However, it looks like it's not happening. CNBC reports regarding coming together. Paramount Global has a special committee to look into the potential. They hired their financial advisors, whose jobs were to sort through the assets or company as a whole. The big selling point for the companies is their catalogs. Paramount Plus and Max are two major contributors to streaming content. Merging could make them more competitive against Netflix and Disney Plus. Byron Allen offered $14 billion for Paramount Entertainment Company in February 2024, though it's unclear if that will go anywhere, considering Allen's history of making bids that he doesn't move forward with. So we'll see where this goes. For now, it seems like Paramount Global and Warner Brothers Discovery will remain independent. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, like you said, we covered this a few weeks ago that they were in talks to merge, and I can't remember, somebody in the comment section said, "Oh, this is a terrible idea."
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it is or if it isn't. If this is an article that is basically written by a financial analyst.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds as though it would be a fantastic idea for Max to buy or merge with Paramount, making it far more competitive. And if you think about the apps, Paramount Plus and Max, if that got combined as well, they would be sitting on the exact same level as Netflix and Disney Plus for sure. I don't know how many subscribers Paramount Plus has, but that would have been crazy. And like they're saying, for right now, they're remaining as two different companies. If
Hmm.
this deal falls through with this Byron Allen, negotiations and talks will be back on. I guarantee you.
I agree, and I think that they're looking at a way to kind of combat and beat Netflix. Like that's really the goal right now. Netflix is the big papa of everything right now. They started out
True.
and they took out Blockbuster, and so they started this whole streaming giant type situation, and so they're remaining at the top right now. But I ain't gonna lie, Max is really building their catalog, and Max has really been doing a phenomenal job at making sure that they are competitive. So we'll see how all of this is going to go. We'll see how all of this is going to look. So, but like they said, Byron Allen has made a lot of different offers before, BET, all of these other different things, and he hasn't followed through on any of them. So we'll see if this is just more talk and just ways for him to get more attention to him, or if he's actually serious about it. But I do think that Byron is going to either be a major contributor to a particular network, or he's going to buy one. So we'll see, because I think he's aiming to try to do that. Like I think he wants to be the head of a major network. So we'll see how that looks.
And we don't have a black guy or black woman for that fact at the head of a network. That
Yeah,
would
I
change
mean
a
we have
whole
Oprah,
lot because this is levels.
yeah,
She
because
works
owning
for Warner Brothers
Warner
now.
Brothers. Yeah.
Correct. So we
So
don't have anybody on this level. This would be
mhm,
spectacular. And shout
yeah.
out to this brother for what he's doing or
Mhm.
attempting to do. Maybe he's trying to pull together the capital. We don't know because $14 billion is pretty aggressive.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
The bu-
So we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
We will see how it goes. All right. Well, next up we have the Black Panther 3. Black Panther 3 rumors are in talks right now. So let's get into that. Hold on one second. There we go. So Black Panther 3 looks like leaves things open for Black Panther Wakanda Forever leaves things open for a follow-up. Marvel's release slate is absolutely jam-packed for the next few years. Wakanda Forever sees the nation in mourning following the death of T'Challa, as well as the introduction of a new Black Panther who goes up against Namor, ruler of the undersea kingdom of Tolakan. The gap between Black Panther and Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, was a huge 4 years. But, of course, the sequel had to contend with the pandemic and the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman. The gap between Black Panther 2 and Black Panther 3 will be even longer. According to Games Radar Plus, we can expect to see Black Panther 3 in theaters sometime around 2028 or early 2029. I'm sorry.
So put that in
Considering
perspective. Put
Mhm.
that in perspective. Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, was released in 2022.
Mhm.
So we're looking at Black Panther 3 being released in 2028 or 29, which is what, 6 years, 7 years?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, no, it's about 2 or 3 more years.
No, from
Oh
Black
no,
Panther 2 that
I'm
was
sorry.
released in
Yeah.
2022. We're talking
Yeah.
about a release date of 2028, 29, right?
Yeah. So yeah,
So
about six. Yeah,
that's
I was thinking of this
6 or
year. I'm
7
sorry.
years. I
Yeah.
wish.
So right, right. Um, but considering Ryan Coogler helmed the first and second installments, we can expect him to return when the third movie happens. Avengers: Secret Wars Part 1 and 2 is coming out in 2026 and 2027 to wrap up the multiverse saga. Blade will be released during Phase 6, meaning the MCU won't get back around to making Black Panther 3 until Phase 7 in a brand new saga. So we are looking at a possible release date in 2028. Will T'Challa be a part of the Young Avengers? Will we also have to wait until 2028 and 2029 to see Storm as well? In the meantime, the new Black Panther animated series coming to Disney Plus is set to be released in 2024. No official release date has been given at this time, though. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess Marvel deserves some credit for hearing us say, because a lot of people were mixed about Wakanda Forever. Some people
Mm-hmm.
really wanted the ending of that to bring forth another active Black Panther, either from the multiverse
Mm-hmm.
or the multiverse.
Right.
So, and then with the MCU announcing a soft reboot, right? They
Mm-hmm.
announced a soft reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Many Black Panther fans are saying, well, what about T'Challa? What about Black Panther? Where's his soft
Right.
reboot?
Right. Where's he gonna
But
be at?
yeah, and it looks like their answer is, well, in another, what did we say? 6 to 7 years from Wakanda Forever, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to give you Junior. He's gonna come out, he's gonna do his thing, so on and so forth. And he probably will be a part of the Young Avengers because it sounds like he'll be like 15, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Not old enough to be a part of the Avengers, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see him as a teenager. I don't know how I feel about seeing a young Storm at that age as well. But it does give them a good 10-year arc to come into their own.
Yeah, I see the reset. I just wish it was a little sooner because a lot of people are going to be
Yeah.
older. Most of the Storm chasers, those who are like super huge fans of Storm, the Storm chasers are millennial or Gen X, right? And so we're coming into a generational ending now. So I know it's only going to be like 6 or 7 years or whatever, but I would like to see it a little sooner. That's just me. But we'll see how it is. I'd rather it be late than never.
Well,
So
yeah, like you said, it's 2024 now, so we're talking about another 4 to 5 years
yeah, and
before
time
we actually
flies.
see it in the theater. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so. And we do have an animated series to watch this year. It looks like it's going to be coming out at the end of this year.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
I guess we'll
we'll
have to
see.
just put it all in Blade if
Right.
that happens.
Right.
Like you
If that
said
happens.
last week, if it happens.
Yeah, but next up, what we can
Uh,
expect over at DC is Waller. So we have some speculations over going on regarding Waller's release date. So it says since 2016. Let's see here. Since 2016, Viola Davis has brought the morally complex Amanda Waller to life, a key character in the DC universe. Waller is a high-ranking intelligence officer in the U.S. government, reporting directly to the president. At least that's what she wants your first impression to be. Behind the scenes in the DCU, Waller is the architect of Task Force X, a top-secret team of incarcerated DC villains that are sent out on shady, top-secret government missions. But maybe you know Task Force X better by their own name, the Suicide Squad. I can't say that online, but the Suicide Squad. After various appearances in multiple films, we watched all the DC movies in order to check. And a 2022 TV series, James Gunn and Peter Safran announced that Waller would be taking center stage in their own self-titled solo series, starring Viola Davis. But when is the Waller release date? Allow us to go through everything you need to know and more right here. What we need to know, or what do we know, however, is that it's the third project in Gunn and Safran's DCU chronology. Thank you. Right behind Superman Legacy, Creature Commandos, and before Peacemaker 2. This means Viola Davis Waller is likely to be going into production later this year in 2024 with a late 2025 release window. Currently, only Viola Davis is confirmed to be returning to the series. However, Gunn also revealed that he's expecting some of the members of the Peacemaker cast to join the show. So we think it's fair to assume we'll be revisiting some of the surviving members of the Task Force X and tie up loose ends for the transition from the DECU to the DCU. Wow. It's a lot going
It's
on.
really cool because remember, there were questions about Peacemaker 2 being that show that explains the soft reboot from the
Mm-hmm.
DCEU to the DCU. everybody
Yes.
forgot that Waller's coming out before Peacemaker 2. It is very
Yeah.
clear. And
Yeah.
so, right now, they completely did Creature Commandos under the radar and
Mm-hmm.
finished it during the strike. Remember, they finished it during the strike. So it was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
fascinating to see that that series was under the radar, and they announced then that they were going to go right into, after the strike was over, filming Waller. They were going to go
Right.
into pre-production. So we haven't heard anything. Did they start pre-production? I bet you they did. They could be in production because Superman Legacy is getting all of the press, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As they
Yeah.
said, Waller, Amanda Waller, is a key character in the DC universe. She is just as important as Lex Luthor,
Yeah. Yeah.
but a black woman is not getting the respect.
What you know what
Surprise,
that's about?
surprise,
Surprise,
surprise, surprise.
surprise.
So I'm
Exactly.
really excited to see and to know that Gunn is putting a lot into this series and that she would be the one tying up a lot of loose ends in the DC and DCEU universe. It makes
And and
sense.
and we're talking about a powerhouse like Viola Davis, so she's gonna rock this.
Viola
She's gonna rock this
Davis,
character like no other. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they
baby.
bring with this.
She's gonna
So
give it. Watch.
she's going to
She's
give it.
going to bring it.
She is going to bring. I mean, she's already done it. She's already doing it now with
She
the other series,
has.
like with the first couple of Suicide Squad
Yeah.
movies, and then also with Peacemaker. So she's giving it. She is Amanda Waller to me. So we'll see
She
how it all goes.
And I thought CCH Pounder, for me, that was my Amanda Waller. I wanted to see her go from animated to live action. I felt that she fit the part physically and all that. I was a
Yeah.
little bit disappointed when they cast Viola Davis, believe it or not.
Hmm.
And then after, I was like, why? How could I be disappointed?
Yeah.
Could I be
I mean, either
disappointed?
one of them could have did it, but I think the reason why they picked Viola is because she's hot right now.
She's that girl.
She's on fire. So and
She
she can
is.
hold it.
She
Keith
can.
said Pam Grier. I don't think Pam Grier could have did this role. Yeah, I don't
No,
know. I don't know.
absolutely not. The only other
Yeah,
person that they could have went with, in my opinion, Keats, you all may not like this, but just give it a second, is Vanessa Williams. If you saw her on Ugly Betty, she was a fantastic villain as Wilhelmina. Release her because she has done the animated version of Amanda Waller too. Because there are two versions of her fat and her skinny.
yeah.
Vanessa Williams did voice the character as the skinny Amanda Waller, and she was cutthroat and ruthless. Trust and
Yeah.
believe. Check out the animated movies with Vanessa Williams as she was amazing.
Oh, yes, that's right. Pam was Amanda Waller on Smallville.
Get
That's
out.
right. She was. I completely forgot about that. All right, Keith, you
Yeah.
better know your DC history.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't I didn't get into
I
Smallville as much.
completely forgot about that. Yeah, she was Amanda Waller. I still think that I like Pam Grier because she's a legend. I just
Yeah, of
don't know
course.
that she's not. She doesn't oomph it all for me when it comes to Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
I feel like Viola
Viola
Davis.
is perfect.
Yeah.
And my
Viola
second
Davis.
choice is Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams is a beast.
Yeah.
Especially remember her in Soul Food,
Mhm,
baby. She would have.
yeah. But I think for me, I think Viola Davis really gives Amanda Waller a
She's
different.
perfect.
She's like you know, either her or Pounder, would have been it. But
I
yeah,
agree.
I don't know. Yeah, but we got Viola Davis now. That's locked in. So it is what it is.
And
All right, y'all,
I'm
let's
good
get
with that.
right. All right, let's get to the last story for the Maverick alert. So Brie Larson, you know, she's one of my favorite people in the world. You know, Marvel Studios has not officially announced any follow-up movies to the 2023's The Marvels, which marked an all-time low for the studio box, or the studio at the box, which I think that needs to be updated because I believe that Madam Web was even
Web,
lower. Yeah.
correct.
Um, Yeah, that like people are asking for their money back. Like that, they didn't even do that for the Marvels. Like they at
Well,
least
you know how they're
acknowledged.
separating it is that the Marvels and the Captain Marvel is obviously officially part of the MCU. What's her name? Madam Web is a part of the MCEU, the extended
Mhm.
universe, because they're over at Sony. So that's why they're separating it. But you're right. Madam Web is a complete ball.
Keith said, I watched that the other day and it was okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna watch
That's
it. We'll
the
see.
that is the best thing I've heard about it. And I've
Hmm.
talked to multiple people, even girls,
Hmm.
some of my nieces who were rushing to the theater to see it, and they came back
Hmm.
and were like, "It's okay."
Yeah, yeah,
Eh.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But will Brie Larson continue to appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward? She isn't telling anyone. When Extra asked Larson, 34, about any upcoming project she has with Marvel at the 2024 SAG Awards on Saturday, she shook her head and replied, "I don't have anything to say about that." Okay. Larson has been quite quiet. Sorry, reality TV, Marvel Universe. Larson has been quiet about her potential future with the comic book movie franchise since the Marvels, the sequel to hit her 2019 film Captain Marvel, released in November to comparatively low box office results for Marvel Studios. The movie made $47 million at the domestic box office over its opening weekend, which stood out at the MCU's as the MCU's worst ever box office opening weekend per multiple reports. Captain Marvel opened to 153 million back in 2019. Again, there was no pandemic at that time. Big difference. And we were all super excited about seeing a new character. That phase was just really dope. And I ended up falling asleep during the damn movie any damn way. But that's here nor there. I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
While speaking with Entertainment Tonight in November, following the Marvel's release, Larson told that outlet she believes there is still much inside of Carol to explore in future movies. Quote, I feel like getting to be on this team just cracked her open in a way that she hadn't been, and I really love that for her, she said. When asked specifically about any future MCU project she will appear in, Larson responded, I don't want Marvel to come for me, but there is definitely something to answer your question that I would want to say, but I'm not going to. Okay, girl. Okay, let me get to
See, that lets me believe, that
that.
leads
There's
me to
something going
believe
on.
that she is in the future. Yeah, she's a part of
Yeah,
Secret Wars. Let's not kid ourselves.
but
One and two. She's going to be in one and two.
I don't think she's gonna have what do you call it, a solo movie though, a third solo movie. I just don't. I don't think so. Marvel Studios
Well,
has
just,
not yet announced a sequel to the Marvels. Deadpool and Wolverine will mark the studio's only release in 2024, and the studio expects to release 6 more movies between 2025 and 2027, including the next Captain America movie, the Fantastic Four's introduction to the MCU, and 2 Avengers titles. Larson's the Marvels co-star Iman Vellani and opened in November that the film's box office performance is not for the movie's actors to worry about. Quote, I don't want to focus on something that's not even in my control, she said at the time. Quote, because what's the point? That's for Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger to decide. Okay. All right.
that's a lie. She know good and well
She knows what's
that
going
the
on.
performance right of her last film was sucky. We had heard so many reports about
She
her not
knows.
getting along with the co-stars.
Right.
So many people have been coming for her online
Me
because
too.
she came for the actress who played Monica Rambeau.
Right.
Big time. Now,
Hmm.
she knows that the actress who played Monica Rambeau got glowing reviews in this horrible movie.
Hmm. Indeed.
She did
Indeed.
not, and she was definitely the lead. You and I reported on several occasions how she insisted on being in the center and the focus, that the film even be re-edited to make sure that everybody knows she is the star. And she couldn't
She was
carry it.
that girl. No, she couldn't, and she won't,
So,
because
yeah,
she's not that girl.
yeah. So I believe that you're right. She's not going to get another solo film. She was going to be heavily featured in some of the Secret Wars. I do believe she will be heavily featured in that.
Mhm.
But who's to say Monica Rambeau won't either? I wouldn't
Yeah,
be surprised if she's out after Secret Invasions Part 2 and they make Captain Marvel Monica Rambeau, which is what
yeah.
they
I
should
don't. I
do
don't
in the
think. I
first
don't
current
think that they
place.
should. They should. I don't think that she's going to carry into the next phase. I just don't see it. So, good
And
luck, girl.
Monica Rambeau, right now in the comic books, she is a major part of the Avengers.
Hmm.
Not Brie Larson's character, but
Sure.
Monica Rambeau
Yeah.
is a major part. So we
Also
do
known as
need to
Photon.
focus on her.
Yeah.
That's
Also known
right,
as
whatever her
Photon.
name
Yep.
is.
All right. Let's get into some Blerd news. That was the Maverick alert, y'all. Let's get into it. Mhm. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, you guys. It does help the algorithm. We appreciate you for all that you do. All right. It's time for some Blerd news. Okay. You guys know that we typically start off with Marvel and DC, but today we're actually going to start out with Warner Brothers Discovery directly because Dune 2 is in the building, y'all. Let's give it a little shout out right here. Dune 2 is part 2, the end. How many movies will there be? Okay. Dennis Villeneuve's Dune, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing his name, but Dennis Dune was a huge hit when it arrived in theaters in 2021. And fans have not so patiently been waiting for the highly anticipated sequel. And after Dune Part 2's delay, the project will finally arrive in theaters in March. Critics are praising and I believe it's this Friday, right? Or tomorrow? Or this weekend? Yes, thank you, Dominic. Yep. Let's see. And after critics are praising the sequel and have already declared it a box office smash hit. Currently, Dune 2 has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Dune 2 ends the story of Frank Herbert's
Wow.
first book published in 1965, but there are still many more books to be adapted. So there's a lot of story still left to tell in the franchise. So Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Dennis V are expected to continue the franchise with a third movie as part 2 gears up to be another major box office success for Warner Brothers Discovery. But it will be a while before the director comes up with the third installment based on the second book, Dune Messiah. Dune Part 2 will arrive tomorrow, March 1st, 2024. I'm excited. I completely forgot that this was coming out this week. So I may have to do a little matinee on Saturday. That may have to happen.
Well, yeah. Well, they're smart because they rented out all the IMAX theaters across the country. As we know, IMAX will bring them in an additional like 30% in profit.
Yeah, yeah. It's worth because it's a beautiful movie.
It's
It is
worth
like
it. It is
it's
a
so good.
beautiful.
Oh,
Yes, the first one
so
was
well done.
amazing. Zendaya was amazing in the film. I can't wait to see what she does in this film. And it's just this actress, to me, in my opinion, and I've been watching her since she was a little girl. She has really grown. She is really opened up. She has a lot more range than people give her credit for. She is
Absolutely,
a threat.
absolutely.
She is a triple threat in every sense of the word.
Hmm.
So my eyes are on her because I see a superstar. She's the
Yeah,
next generation right there.
yeah. She's brilliant. I love um her portrayal in what is that? Euphoria. She is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal show. And she's her range is really, like you said, is really spectacular. So for her to go from Marvel to DC to not DC, from Marvel to Warner Brothers on doing Dune, to doing Euphoria, to doing all types of different types of characters, she's really she's a powerhouse. She's a little powerhouse. So
Absolutely.
congratulations to her on her continued success, but also congratulations to the entire movie thriller or movie series. So I hope they turn it into a trilogy because I would love to see where this story goes. The first movie, like I said, was the way they built the story without it being boring. Like, people have to have character development. People have to have, we have to build the world and we have to understand what this world is about,
And it's
especially
been done twice before.
right, exactly. And you have to, but in addition to all of this, like, there's people that may not have seen the original Dunes or have not watched or read any of the books. So for them to do it in such a masterful way by keeping up with the graphics, keeping up with the production, keeping up with the storyline without it being draggy was perfect. It was amazing. So I really much enjoyed the first one. So I'm looking forward to seeing the second one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it sounds like if this opening weekend is a success, then they're going to officially announce the green light for the third installment. That's what
Yeah.
it sounds like that article reads
Sounds
like,
like.
that they are
Yeah.
unofficially greenlit this film. And
Yeah.
with that, I hope they get started pretty soon because these films are epic. And going
Yeah.
on location is, to some remote place and how they film these types of movies, just like Lord of the Rings and that whole type of genre. So I hope they get moving on it really quickly because
Yeah.
they're kind of young, and we don't want to see them middle aged before they get through the story. It's like, come on, people, come on
Exactly.
with it.
Exactly. All right, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and rush into DC. We're running out of time. Where I want to make sure we get into the last of the Blerd news. So it looks like Superman Legacy will mark the first time that two characters have appeared in a live action movie, which is very exciting in scores of fans' eyes. Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho as the MCU. MCU? Oh, I'm sorry. As the MCU seems to be struggling with popular characters like Blade and Black Panther, the DCU intends to create or to showcase a few new heroes, especially Mr. Terrific, the black multi-billionaire tech genius, which a lot of people don't really realize that he's like way more popular or way more rich than even Bruce Wayne. So that's sidebar.
Correct.
And he's way smarter than him too.
Correct.
What's also great is that James Gunn has tapped a top-notch Gotham alum for the role as Metamorpho, Anthony Carrigan, who we might also know for his role on HBO's Barry. What? On HBO's Barry is set to take a Mason. What is it? Set to take on Mason in DCU's debut film. I can't think of a better person to portray the superhero and have no doubt that Carrigan, will crush it. I'm also eager to see how he'll look on screen. We'll have to wait to see for a while. Or a while for that. And some terrific fan art of his Metamorpho has hit the web. Let me see if we have any of that here. Do we have it on here?
I'm like, what are you saying?
Right. I'm trying to see if we have there we go, Metamorpho right there. Also new pictures of the actor building his muscles have surfaced for Mr. Terrific, who's being played by Eddie is it Gathegi? Gathegi. I think it's Gathegi.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. Eddie G has never looked this good. A picture has surfaced of G in training for Legacy, and fans are impressed with how jacked he's already looks. Let's see him over here. There we go. Yeah, I'm interested to see how he's gonna look in his in the outfit. So
yeah,
Halo,
exactly.
a celebrity trainer who's also been working with Corn Sweat, who is going to be playing Superman. Shared this photo on his Instagram stories of G's muscles practically bulging through his clothes. Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he's gonna look really good for the show or for the movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes with this. This is gonna be a good. I'm glad that they brought in Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific, I really am because I really I enjoy his character. And
He needs a solo movie though.
Yeah, he does. But we're not going to get that.
I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I can't say no. And even Gunn said that there's other stuff in the works coming out soon, so we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Mm.
how it goes. Because I feel like it'll compete. They'll think that he's competing with Batman. So, but he could be like the Iron Man of like DC.
He's correct. And I
Yeah.
think that he's been built and he's propped up to compete with T'Challa more than
Mm,
anybody else. He
mm,
is set because him and T'Challa, Black Panther, Wakanda, their backstories with technology and da 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 are very similar.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mr.
mm-hmm.
Terrific created programmable matter in the
Yeah.
DC universe, which
Yeah.
changed the game in that universe, like Wakanda did with their metals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's who I think that they're trying to get him to compete with because they see this whole gap with Black Panther. If they're smart, they'll get on this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. Well, that's going to do it for Blerd News. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to have a conversation about who is Anthony, um, Gary Anthony Williams. I need to drink some coffee after this. But we'll be right back after this commercial break, guys. Stay tuned.
Because self-care should be luxurious. Luxe Noir.
Hey pilots, did you know that you can now catch the electrifying sounds of Bullet in Flight radio anywhere you go? Yes, you heard it right. Tune in to the high-flying beats and soaring melodies by downloading the TuneIn app on your mobile device. Just search for Bullet in Flight radio and hit play. It's that easy. And if you have a smart device like Alexa or Google, just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play Bullet in Flight radio on TuneIn." Experience the rush of adrenaline wherever you are. Listen to Bullet in Flight radio on TuneIn using your Alexa or Google devices. Soaring through the skies has never sounded this good. Don't miss out on the ultimate musical journey. Tune in now to Bullet in Flight radio on TuneIn and let the music take you on an unforgettable ride. Get ready to elevate your listening experience. Brought to you by Bullet in Flight Radio.
Are you ready for enlightening conversations that transcend boundaries? Get ready for Conversations with Clergy, brought to you by the HIV Vaccine Trials Network. In partnership with the world's largest publicly funded international collaboration, the HVTN is dedicated to evaluating vaccines to prevent HIV and COVID-19, but their impact doesn't stop there. The HVTN is at the forefront of advancing vaccinology, social and behavioral sciences, statistics, immunology, and even contributing to the research on tuberculosis and COVID-19 vaccines. By supporting Conversations with Clergy, the HVTN not only brings you thought-provoking discussions, but also contributes to the global effort to combat infectious diseases. Tune in, stay informed, and be a part of the change. Conversations with Clergy, supported by the HVTN, empowering conversations, empowering lives. Join us in this journey of knowledge, understanding, and progress. Conversations with Clergy, proudly brought to you by the HIV Vaccine Trials Network, because together we can make a difference.
And we're back, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are just tuning in, do me a quick favor and hit that like button, share, and subscribe. It does help the algorithm. And you could join the Mavericks, become a Maverick with Dominic and myself. You know, we geek out together and learn some things.
We love it.
We love that. And also you guys can go ahead and hit us up on the Cash Apps if you feel so inclined, or you can hit me up at Kwame C86 on Cash App, and Dominic at Dominic L Pruitt with 2 T's. That's right, 2 T's. All right, y'all. Let's get into some things we got to finish up this right here. It's time for some Maverick time. Okay, hold on. I think I had a glitch. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, there we go. I was like, where did it go? All right. As you guys know, we have we've been doing this series. Shout out to Just Dominic for this amazing series and learning about all of these influential people of color and their impact on Marvel, DC, and just the overall comic world. First up, we talked about the amazing Halim Flowers and his comeback story and how he influenced just Marvel, DC, all of these different. Was it Marvel? I think it was Marvel. Yeah, it was Marvel. No, it was DC.
Batman.
Huh?
DC Batman.
Yes. Yes. And we also talked about Afua Richardson. Shout out to that queen, as well as Matt Baker. Hey, Matt. One of the founders how you do it, and one of the founders of Marvel, and so co-founders rather of Marvel that we discovered. Dr. Sheena Howard, shout out to that queen and the impact that she has had on Black culture, as well as Aletha Martinez. And we talked about the incredible, the incomparable, the amazing, one of our favorites, the Dwayne McDuffie, as well as Sanford Green. We talked about Natasha Bustos. We also mentioned Loiso Makizi. We also talked about Robin Smith and Jamal Campbell, as well as Nyla Magruder. We also talked about Anthony Piper. Hey, Anthony, how you doing, sir? And Phil Lamar. Shout out to Phil Lamar. And the incredible, the amazing, the talented one, bow down to Cree Summers. Relax, relate, release. And we also talked about the incomparable, the voice himself, Keith David. And hey, Carrie Payton, how you doing? What's going on? Holler at us. Anyway, and also Kevin Michael Richardson. We also talked about the incredible voice and Princess Tiana herself, Anika Noni Rose. We also talked about Kimberly Brooks and her contributions, as well as Dorian Harewood. And last but not least, last week we talked about the amazing, the living single man himself, T.C. Carson. And this week, we are not stopping there. We are going to be talking about and discovering who is Gary Anthony Williams. So without further ado, Just Dominic, take it away.
Absolutely. And just so you know, everyone, next week we'll end this particular series. We're going to start a new one, but next week we'll end this series about talking about all these wonderful African American people. So next week is going to be very special. We saved the best for last, trust and believe. So like Kwame said, we're talking about who is Gary Anthony Williams. So Gary Anthony Williams was born March 14th, 1966. He is an African-American actor, comedian, and filmmaker. Gary is best known for voicing folks like Uncle Ruckus, the Mutant Leader, and Bebop. From a young age, Gary Anthony Williams has been deeply involved in theater and comedy. He is a member of the Atlanta improv troupe, Laughing Matters. And he has also appeared in several comedy series, including Blue Collar TV and Whose Line Is It Anyway? Other shows he has worked on include Boston Legal and CSI, the original series. So a few highlights from Gary Anthony Williams' career I think we're going to start from 20 years ago, or 20 more years ago that this man has been in the business and voice acting. So back in 2002, he did multiple voices for Star Trek Fleet Command 3, the video game. He also did in 2008 to 2009, he voiced Mongal, and Fun Haas in Batman, the Brave and the Bold. In 2010, he provided the voice of Mongo again in Batman, the Brave and the Bold video game. and Thunderball or Elliot Franklin, the paramedic in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He went back to 2010. In 2010, he went back to providing the voice again for Mongol in Batman the Brave and the Bold. Did I say that? Oh, video game.
Yes.
Oops, sorry. So in 2011, let me get to 2011. He provided the voice of Riff Tamson in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And for those who love the Clone Wars, what a classic series that has now become. One of my favorite animated series he worked on from 2012 to 2015. He provided various voices in the animated Adult Swim cartoon called Black Dynamite. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Black
It's really
Dynamite
good.
is hilarious. It's raunchy, a little edgy, but it is delicious. So back again in 2011, he provided the voice again of the mutant leader and Anchor Bill in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. In 2013, he voiced Anchor Bill again in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 and Mayor Husk in Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Scarecrow. In 2016, he voiced Anton Zek and Bebop in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. In 2017, he voiced Bark Knight and Babu for the Disney Junior series Puppy Dog Pals. And last but not least, he has provided the voice for Mufasa in The Lion King Guard, replacing James Earl Jones, and also provided the voice of Vader in Star Wars Rebels.
Right on.
And if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, it is quite an amazing series. It's the last one that George Lucas was a part of before he left, and now has come back. So yeah, to replace James Earl Jones in that way, as in the Lion Guard, which is a part of the Lion King, as Mufasa, and James Earl Jones again as Vader in Star Wars, is a pretty big shoes to fill, because everybody knows James Earl Jones, his voice is just unbelievable to me. When he played Mufasa, I was done. I was like, yes, Lord.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was it. He was the voice. But yeah, so shout out to Gary Anthony Williams for all of that he's done. I didn't even know that he was in a lot of these, and sometimes we don't really look at voice actors like that. We kind of overlook them a lot, and they're not appreciated as they should, and so we want to give him his flowers. I also love the fact that he his weight loss, like he really, I didn't even recognize him when I saw his press kit picture. So for him to go from all that weight that he lost, he really was diligent about it. So he looks good, and I'm happy for him, and congratulations on all of his accomplishments and everything. Now I want to let you guys know that you guys can also check out all behind the voiceactors.com. I'm putting that in the comment section right down there, but you can also look at all of the Mavericks that we have specialized in, or featured rather, in our playlist, which I also put in the comments as well. Dominic, you were going to say something? Sorry.
No. Yeah, just a little bit. I was just going to say that, of course, I hate to say this, but he is our second to last final guy and celebrating 100 years of color people in comic books. As you know, our series highlights African Americans and Latino Hispanics who have been invisible in front and behind the scenes over the past 100 years. And sadly, I told you before we started taping, I kind of saved him for last. I took him out of order and saved him for last because I really didn't know who he was until I really started to research him. And I thought, oh, he absolutely deserves to be a part of this series.
Yeah, for sure. And I think all Mavericks deserve to be a part of the series in some way, shape, or form. But I'm loving the fact that we get to, on the last day of Black History Month, that doesn't mean that we don't celebrate Black History Year, but I'm glad that we were able to do that on Black History, the last day of Black History Month. So shout out to all of the Mavericks that we featured. We have one more next week, correct? Okay,
Correct.
cool.
Our last one is next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we're going to be going into a new series, which is going to be really, really dope. I'm really actually super excited about it. So super excited about that. It's going to really shift how we've been doing the show. So I'm looking forward to some change up in here. Some change. But yeah.
I know you've been wanting that too. You're like, we've been kind of setting the pattern, but I like the pattern that we have right now. It's a formula that's really been working.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy the flow. The flow is not the issue. It's just, I want to add some pop and some bam and some wham.
Well, yes, okay. Give us 2 more weeks and we'll be there.
Right, we'll be there. All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe on your way in and out. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for being a Maverick. We appreciate you. And yeah, do you got anything else before we go, Dominic?
No, that is it.
All right.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of The Unusual Maverick. Stay blessed, stay stress-free, and stay unusual. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.